5 is learn the threefold Cestui 1666 law, financial and status debilitations. So the law is debilitation is when they deem you dead at sea, and they then label you birthed rather than born, and that's for the Admiral Law. So the Cestui Act 1666 covertly revokes your right to law, and that's been going on for the past 350 years, which is one of the reasons why it's so difficult for people to comprehend. And then you've got the status, so rather than being acknowledged as a man or a woman, you accept the legal title of Mr., Master, Miss, Mrs. For men, you are called Master up until the age of 13, and what this does is removes the letters of estate from Master, leaving you with Mr. 6 years after you've turned 7. So what that does is lets the authorities know that you've missed your chance to reclaim your estate and do not know the law. Then you've got the financial debilitation. So as the living men and women, you would be entitled to live off the bonds of equity from these trust accounts. However, they obviously withhold it diversely because they deem you dead at sea. And it sounds unbelievable, but they do the unbelievable to make the honest sound it. So every time, say for example, a policeman stops you, gives you an on-the-spot fine, they then extort XYZ amount of finance from your trust account in bonds of equity. So that's the same for gas, electricity. It's all paid for with your trust account. They then deceive you to pay again with your hard-earned money. Obviously, it's withheld diversely, and this is what's funding the corruption. It's also what's used as leverage to have the social services. They have these quotas to meet by each year, so they have a certain amount of money to extort from these withheld trust accounts, and the way they do this is by prolonging court cases, which is also a way of psychologically debilitating and exhausting the empathic parents, all to result in what they had planned in the first place, which is leave the children issue with the narcissistic parents. And yes, so this is basically what's funding all corruption, is them extorting the bonds of equity from your trust account. So this is the threefold deception. You've also got the three cities, so the City of London, the Vatican, and the Federal Reserve within Washington, DC, all leading up to the One World Order, One World Government, New World Order. City of London, One World Universal Law, the Vatican, One World Religion, and obviously the One World Finance, cryptocurrency. I'll leave it there, but if you want to look into things, and you will start to comprehend why we are going cashless, and why we've got this orchestrated cost of living crisis. And for any police out there, you might want to start asking the question as to where your pensions have gone. And the majority of you, if any, are probably unaware that it's not in existence anymore. This is all done via the Phoenix fraud, which is, well, I'll let you investigate that for yourself. Number 6 is comprehend fully the name in capitals and the crime of legal entrapment. So the name in capitals being the only place you should see your name in capitals, or would see your name in capitals, is on a gravestone, or the name of a corporation. So what they do is set up this trust account, your corporate trust entity, the business trust. So what they do is, if you look into contract law and the terms of what they deem as acceptance, it's confirming a name. So when you confirm the name in capitals, because that's all that the system can recognize you as, you are allowing them to deceive access to your trust account. And the crime of legal entrapment, well, there's a couple of things. So firstly, they are coercing you into committing identity fraud, because you are claiming the name that they own, so the name on the birth certificate. So if you look at the bottom of the birth certificate, it says not evidence of identity. Therefore, they are coercing you into committing identity fraud, so they can deceive access to your trust account. And then you've got the side of things where it is against the divine law, because it is all done through deception. And this is the key part, is it's all through deception. You've got the legalese language, as well as I mentioned briefly in the last video. So if you want any more information, I do keep forgetting to mention, add me on Facebook. It's Sam Agnew, lowercase. And there's also what I'll be putting out after each of these 22 to-dos. The follow-on video on my TikTok account will be some infographics relevant to the video that I just done. Yeah, and these are infographics, they're not memes, for people to like. It's done so as to people to use as a basis to do their own investigation. Obviously, the fact that it's just something that somebody has created is basically shows you can't use that as evidence. You've got to go and investigate for yourself. If you're too lazy to do that, then the path isn't for you. Number 7 is create and carry your anti-legal entrapment card. I'll show you a version of this, but it'll probably show up back to front. So that reads, legal entrapment is unlawful and a crime. I, Sam Agnew, lowercase, born 30th of the 8th, 1991. Do not consent. I revoke any and all deceived consents and do not contract. And then you should have your autograph underneath it. Autograph, not signature. Signature is a legal term. And then the date. Then restoring man in the with a little quotation marks either side, because it means interchangeable. So a living man, dead man. So obviously a living man. So just put man and or woman, depending on which you are. And divine law, and then in brackets Torah. And then after the date of the day that you've made the card, you then put 3 dots, which means it's continuous. It's not just valid on that day, so it saves you to having to keep making it. And then if you record them, obviously this people need to comprehend as well. This doesn't mean that they're going to just leave you alone. They probably will go ahead with what they're planning anyway. However, if you've shown them that and you've recorded them reading it, it then means that you can prosecute them afterwards, further down the line. And I'll put the infograph up. I'll try and attach it to the end of this video, if I can do that.